Well, hello again to all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. Georgia Beer Reviews back at you today with another one. What I'm looking at is the Konig Ludwig Weissbier, Royal Bavarian Hefeweizen. This beer is 5.5% alcohol by volume. It is brewed in Germany and imported to the United States. It is actually a Warsteiner brand, which is interesting. I didn't know that. I don't think I've had this beer before. Brewed according to the Bavarian purity law, so the German purity law. And it says ingredients: water, wheat, malt, barley malt, hop extract, yeast, 5.5% alcohol. Why are the Bavarian royal family and King Ludwig so important to brewing history? The Bavarian royal family had sole rights to brewing of Hefeweizen in Bavaria for 200 years. No wonder they are leading experts on wheat brews. So I really like Hefeweizen beers. And get some nice banana notes. The yeast complexity that you're getting is really nice as well. You get all kinds of flavors from the yeast that they use in these types of beers, and they're very active when you pour them. A lot of times you get that it's like the yeast is still active. So if you were to age beers like this, I think that they would become stronger actually in alcohol because the yeast is still active. And if you leave them sitting for a long time, that yeast will actually convert more of the sugar to alcohol. I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe not for this one because this one's not really a high gravity beer at 5.5%. But I know people that cellar some of the higher ABV versions of this style, and the results vary, but it seems like for the most part, if you do it correctly, if you have like a nice cellar room or keep it out of the light and put it in a cool dark place, you might get a pretty good product. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into this beer. I bought a single. This is one of the singles that I got in the last Pick Your Own 6-pack that I bought at Kroger for $9.99. They have a really great selection at Kroger for these Pick Your Own 6-packs. So I get to try a lot of really cool beers, a lot of craft beers for $9.99 a 6-pack. So I gave it a pour. It's a hazy yellow golden color, very, very hazy. I don't see anything really floating around, but the lighting, it's dark now. The lighting's poor. I can't really hold it up to the sunlight anymore. Um, but no big chunks, I could tell you that. The head, we're looking about a 2.5 to 3 finger, white, creamy looking head. Very good looking Hefeweizen beer in the glass. Let's get an aroma on it. This Warsteiner brand, imported from Bavaria. All right, a nice wheat smell, like wheat bread. Maybe some clove. You're getting a little bit of banana. A slight grassy note. Smells really good, guys. The German purity law of 1516. I really love the beers, most of the beers that are brewed according to that law because they're very simple and they let basic ingredients speak for themselves. They don't add any fancy ingredients, try to spruce it up. This is just a classic beer style, and I love it. It's a great style. So let's see how this beer stacks up against some of the other Hefeweizen beers that I've had. Cheers, guys. Ooh, yeah. You're getting some nice banana flavors from the yeast. Um, there's a nice wheat bready note in the middle of the sip. It's relatively light bodied. You're not picking up on any of the alcohol, 5.5%. This is a pretty sessionable beer. Hefeweizen beers are typically pretty sessionable anyway. This one is no exception. Even the 7% Weihenstephaner Vitus is a very sessionable beer for a 7% ale. Nice breadiness, like I said, in the middle of the sip. I love the banana fruit notes that I'm getting. There's a little bit of a spice note, like maybe like allspice or clove. I don't know. I'm not too great with my spices, but there's a little bit of a spice component to this one, which is really enjoyable. The finish is relatively dry, but not going to be as dry as your lager beers, your American adjunct lagers in particular, and your light beers. But it's a semi-dry finish. It is crisp. It's clean. It's super refreshing. Um, like I said, pretty light-bodied, easy drinking stuff. Um, it's excellent, guys. I can tell you that. I think there are other Hefeweizen beers that are better than this, but I can't really say that I've had a Hefeweizen beer that it was bad. There's some that are duller than others that don't have as much flavor, but none of the ones I've have had really any off flavors or really bad tasting qualities to them. Um, and this one's no exception. It's a great beer. I think the Franziskaner is better than this. I think most of the Weinstefaner Hefeweizens are better. The Vitus being my favorite. That one at 7% alcohol. Um, Schneider Weiss is better than this as well. But I've had so many over the years, so that's not really saying too much. This one is not bad by any means. It's pretty standard for Hefeweizen. There's a lot, it's got those same flavor notes that you would expect with this type of beer. It is excellent, but for me, it's a little bit more on the low end of excellent. So I'm going to go with a 93 out of 100 for the Konig Ludwig Weissbier Royal Bavarian Hefeweizen. I think it is excellent, but it's at the higher end of A minus for me, 93 out of 100. But it is excellent nonetheless. I highly recommend that you go out and try it, especially if you can get these types of beers in singles like I can at Kroger, Publix, your supermarkets that have the pick your own six pack. This is a very popular beer, so you might be able to get a single. If not, I'm not really sure what the 6 packs, 12 packs go for. They're probably between $8.99 and $10.99 for a 6 pack for this style. It's more of a crafty beer, even though it is a Warsteiner product, but it is an imported beer from Germany, so you might pay a little bit more just for that, that process. Anyway, excellent beer, guys. 93 out of 100. That'll do it for this beer review. Hope you're all having a great day, and until next time, everybody, cheers.